Hare Krishna, everyone. So, I was asked to read chapter 7 from the book Ramayan, retold by Krishna Dharma. So, I'll just start the reading. So, the chapter is chapter 7 Rama agrees to depart. Towards the end of night, Vasishtha, accompanied by numerous disciples, hastily entered Ayodhya from his hermitage outside the city. He went along the well-swept and watered streets, all thronging with citizens eagerly awaiting Rama's installation. Crossing the outer courtyard of the king's palace, which was decorated all over with rows of flags, he approached Dashrath's inner chambers. The rishi saw the courtyard crowded with large numbers of Brahmins reciting sacred hymns from the Vedas. Upon reaching the palace gate, he was met by Sumantra, who prostrated himself before the sage and then immediately left to inform Dashrath of his arrival. As he passed through the palace and approached the inner chambers, Sumantra was entirely ignorant of his master's present plight. He composed in his mind pleasing prayers with which to greet the king, who was dearer to him than his own father. The guards informed Sumantra that the king was in Kaikeyi's chambers, and as he arrived at her door, he began to loudly recite those prayers. Even as the sun, which sustains all beings, aroses the world, arise now, O Emperor, like the sun rising from the eastern hills. As Matali, the minister of Indra, extolled his master, who then rose up and conquered the demons, so do I now extol you to rise up and do your duty, O Lord. All of us await you with joined palms. The glorious sage Vasishtha has arrived with other sages and stands ready to perform the sacred installation ceremony of Rama. Order us now to proceed, O mighty monarch. Hearing Sumantra speaking at the door, Dashrath became overwhelmed with sorrow once more. He went to his charioteer and embraced him. The king looked at Sumantra with eyes reddened with grief. Today, O Sumantra, your well-chosen words only pierce my heart with pain. Dashrath's happiness had ended. He could not say anything more and simply stood with tears flowing down his face. Sumantra was unable to fathom the cause of the king's sadness. He stepped back with tightly joined palms. This was strange. Surely this was the happiest day of Dashrath's life. For so long he had desired a successor. At last his desire was about to be fulfilled. Seeing the mystified Sumantra, Kaikeyi said, The king has remained awake the entire night, considering Rama's installation. Sleeplessness has made him unwell. He wishes now to see his son. Therefore, bring Rama here. The intelligent minister looked at Dashrath. Something was surely wrong. On such a momentous occasion, why was the king not himself going to fetch Rama? Dashrath saw his minister's confusion. Reassuring him, the king told him to fetch Rama. Sumantra considered then that his master might just be exhausted from the preparations for the installation. Saying it shall be done, he bowed low and left for Rama's palace. Meanwhile, the priests were making ready all the items required for the ceremony. Around a beautiful carved and adorned wooden seat were arranged many gold pitchers filled with water from all the sacred rivers ready to anoint Rama. Above the seat was a large white umbrella which shone like the full moon on a clear night. Excellent musicians played melodies appropriate to the mood, while Brahmin chanted Vedic text meant to invoke good fortune. The brilliant sun rose in a clear sky, and everyone eagerly awaited the arrival of the king and his son. Sumantra reached Rama's palace, which was as splendid as Mount Kailash. Secured with oak doors 50 feet tall and embellished with hundreds of balconies, its main facade was adorned with gold images studded with innumerable gems. The outer gateway was constructed of coral worked with gold and embedded with large precious stones of every description. As Sumantra passed through that gateway, he was greeted by delightful music and the aroma of various incenses. Peacocks and cranes crowded the courtyard, which was graced with blossoming trees and bushes. Sumantra descended from his chariot and entered the palace, which was in no way inferior to the palace of Kuvera, the god of riches. Enlivened by simply seeing that palace, Sumantra passed through three entrances, each guarded by powerful young warriors wielding spears and bows. Rama was as dear to him as his own life, and his heart pounded with joy as he approached the inner chambers. The corridors through the palace were cool and delightful, decorated with fine wood carvings and lit by the lustre of thousands of celestial gems. Arriving at the gate to Rama's personal quarters, Sumantra asked the doorkeepers there to inform Rama of his arrival. Rama, who was alone with Sita, immediately instructed that Sumantra be shown into his room. Sumantra went before Rama, whom he found seated upon a gold couch, being fanned gently with a whisk by Sita. Richly adorned with costly garments and smeared with crimson sandal paste, Rama seemed to shine like the midday sun. He smiled affectionately at Sumantra, who fell prostrate on the ground, offering prayers. Rising up with folded hands, the minister said, "Most blessed is Kaushalya for having had you as her son. Your father, along with Queen Kekai, now desires to see you. Be pleased to go there without delay." Rama looked at Sita and said, "Surely my father is speaking with his queen about my installation. I think the blessed Kekai, always favorable to my father, must even now be urging the king to make haste with the ceremony, knowing as she does how much the emperor longs for its completion. As he has sent his most trusted messenger to fetch me, the king, along with his most beloved queen, undoubtedly wish to bless me that my installation will proceed without impediment." Rama rose to leave, and the dark-eyed and lovely Sita invoked divine blessings upon him. Following her husband to the gate, she said, "After installing you as Prince Regent, the king should, in course of time, concrete you as the ruler of this world, even as Brahma installed Indra as the ruler of the gods. I wish to serve you in that state. May the great deities Indra, Yamaraj, Varuna, and Kuvera, the guardians of the four quarters, guard you from every side." Along with Sumantra, Rama went out from his palace quarters as a mighty mountain lion might emerge from his cave. Rama saw Lakshmana standing at the first gate, bent low with joined palms. At the middle gate, Rama met his friends and relations, and he greeted them all according to their status, offering obeisances or embracing them. Within the courtyard, Rama mounted upon a golden chariot, which shone like fire and was covered over with white tiger skins and had thousands of small golden bells hanging from its sides. The charioteer spurred on the tall steeds, which were as powerful as young elephants, and the chariot moved away swiftly with a deep rumbling. As the outer gates swung open, Rama's chariot came out from the palace like the moon emerging from behind a cloud. Rama went along the main road, preceded by a platoon of mailed warriors wearing swords and carrying bows. The prince sat peacefully while Lakshmana fanned him. He smiled at the people who thronged the streets in the thousands. His chariot was followed by great elephants resembling moving mountains. Thousands of horsemen brought up the rear. Poets and singers chanted Rama's praises to the accompaniment of divine music echoing in the heavens. Mixed with these sounds were the shouts of the warriors, which resembled the roaring of lions. On the balconies, at the windows of the mansions, lining the roads, stood women who showered Rama on all sides with flowers. The ladies also praised Sita, saying, "Surely that godly lady has performed the highest penances to have been blessed with this great hero Rama as her husband." The citizens, seeing Rama pass by, uttered blessings. May victory attend you, they cried out. Others were heard to say, here goes Rama, who will today inherit the royal fortune. Fortunate too are we who will soon be ruled by him. Being extolled everywhere, Rama rode down the highway, which was lined with white houses appearing like clouds and with shops filled with abundant produce of every variety. The streets were the streets were strewn with jewels and with grains of rice and blades of sacred kusha grass. Brahmins made offerings of ghee, lamps, and incense to Rama as he passed, invoking divine blessings and saying, we would renounce every worldly happiness simply to see Rama coming out of the palace as Prince Regent today. Indeed, even liberation itself is not so desirable. None could turn away their eyes or mind from Rama as he went along the road in Ayodhya. Everyone looking upon Rama also felt that he was glancing at them. Gradually, Rama and his entourage arrived at Dashrath's palace. Rama passed through the three outer gates on his chariot and then got down and passed through the last two gates on foot. He politely sent back all those persons who had followed him, even though they found it difficult to part from him. At last Rama reached the inner chambers alone and approached Kaikeyi's room. As he entered the rooms, Rama saw the afflicted king seated with Kaikeyi on a golden couch. He bowed at his father's feet, then laid himself low before Kaikeyi, his mind fully composed. Dashrath appeared dejected and distressed, his face streaked with tears. He sat burning with agony and repeatedly sighing, appearing like the eclipsed sun or like a holy Brahmin who has told a lie. Seeing his son standing before him with a modest demeanor and folded palms, the monarch said only, Rama, and could not say another word, being overcome by grief. Rama was seized with apprehension to see his father in that unusual state. Like the ocean at the rising of the full moon, Rama became agitated. He was devoted to the king and was saddened to see him so sorrowful. How was it that on such a day his father did not greet him? Even when angry, he would always rise to bless his son. Why was he now remaining seated, looking downwards and weeping silently? Rama went before Kaikeyi, who sat at a distance from the king, and addressed her alone. O godly lady, pray tell me the reason for my father's distress. Rama asked gently. Even though always affectionate to me, why does he not greet me today? Have I unwittingly committed some offense? Is the king angry with me for my having failed in some way to respect him? Kaikeyi remained silent and Rama continued, I hope no suffering caused by illness or mental anguish has afflicted my father. Truly it is said that everlasting happiness cannot be had in this world. I hope I have not offended anyone dear to the king. If I were unable to please my father, or if I failed to do this bidding and thus angered him, I would not survive even for an hour. What wretched man would not devotedly serve his father, a veritable God to him on earth, to whom he owes his own birth in this world? Understanding from Keike's toned expression that there was tension between her and his father, Rama said, perhaps my father has been hurt by some utterance of yours, O fair-faced queen, made out of vanity or anger. My dear Keikei, please inform me of the cause of this unprecedented disturbance to the emperor, for I am very curious. Upon hearing this question from the high-minded Rama, Keikei, who had become impudent and was thinking only of her own interest, replied boldly, the emperor is neither angry nor anguished, O Rama. However, there is something on his mind which he will not disclose for fear of hurting you, his beloved son. Having made a promise to me, the king now repents and wishes to retract his word, just like any other common man. The ever truthful monarch wants to build a dam across a stream whose waters have already flowed away. Truth is the root of piety. This is known to the right ages. O Rama, take care lest of king loses now his piety for your sake, angry as he is with me. Looking into Rama's apprehensive eyes, Keke said, if you will undertake to do whatever the king may ask, be it good or bad for you, then I shall explain everything. I shall speak out the king's promise only as long as it shall not fail because of you, but the king himself will not in any event tell you. Rama was distressed to hear Keke speaking in this way. Within the hearing of the emperor, he replied to her, alas, how shameful it is that I should hear words expressing doubt about my devotion to my father. You should never think this, O glorious lady. At my father's command, I would this very moment leap into blazing fire, swallow a deadly poison, or plunge into the depth of the ocean. Therefore tell me, my dear mother, what is on your mind? By my avowed word, I shall without doubt do whatever is desired by the king. Know that Rama's word is always truth. Seeing the king mute and the guileless Rama prepared to carry out her desire, Kaikeyi felt her purpose is all but accomplished. In an unkind voice, she revealed her wicked intentions to Rama. It is well known how I once saved the king's life and how, as a result, he granted me a couple of boons. Against those boons, I solicited today a promise from the king to fulfill my desire. I wish for Bharat to be installed in your place and for you to go to the forest, remaining there for 14 years. O descendant of emperors, prove true to your word and to that of your father. Indeed, rescue the king from the ignominy of impiety and live without delay. Let Bharat be duly consecrated with all the paraphernalia arranged for you. While he remains here to rule this wide and prosperous earth, you shall remain for 14 years in some distant forest, wearing matted locks and the barks of trees. The king cried out in pain as Kaikeyi spoke. Rama stood by without showing any emotion as the queen continued. Overcome by compassion for you, this monarch cannot even look at your face. O Rama, ornament of your line, make good his promise and deliver him from his difficult and awkward situation. Even though Kaikeyi uttered such cruel words, Rama did not yield to grief. The king, however, felt increasing agony as he thought about his impending separation from Rama. He listened in silence as Rama replied to Kaikeyi, so be it. To honor my father's promise, I shall put on the dress of an ascetic and depart forthwith for the forest. You need entertain no doubt in this regard, O queen. Why, though there is not my father greet me as before. I could never transgress to his order, even as the ocean, by the order of the Supreme Lord, can never transgress its shores. Rama looked across at his father, who could not return his glance. The king kept his head down and wept softly. Rama turned back to Kaikeyi. Ordered only by you, O Kaikeyi, I would joyfully part with in favor of Bharat, not only the kingdom but also all my personal property, my wedded wife Sita, and even my own beloved self. How much more gladly would I part with these things when ordered by my father, the emperor himself, in order to please you and honor his pledge. Please reassure my afflicted father, for seeing him sitting there shedding tears pains me greatly. He may feel assured that I shall immediately enact his desire without feeling any sorrow at all. Let swift horses be sent for Bharat. Without questioning my father's command, I shall now quickly proceed to the forest. The ignoble Kaikeyi then rejoiced at heart. Confident that Rama would soon leave, she urged him to hurry. Let it be so, she exclaimed. Messengers may leave immediately to fetch Bharat from his uncle's kingdom. You should not wait a moment, O Rama, lest some impediment presents itself. Keen as you are to depart, leave right now. Do not be concerned for the king's silence, for he is too shy to ask you himself. Let this apprehension be banished from your mind and make haste. As long as you have not left, the king will take neither food nor water. Drawing a deep sigh with the words, "Alas, how very painful," the king collapsed unconscious on the couch. Rama gently placed his cool hands on his father's forehead and raised him up. The prince was again urged on by Kaikeyi. Turning towards her, Rama said, "I have no desire to live in this world as a slave to material gains. Like the rishis, I am devoted only to righteousness. I will always do whatever is agreeable to my adorable father, even at the cost of my life. The greatest piety lies in serving one's father. Indeed, O gentle lady, greater still is service to the mother, according to sacred texts. Surely you do not see any good points in me, O princess of Kekaya, as you felt it necessary to ask such a minor thing of my father. Your request alone would have sufficed. I shall go to a lonely forest and live there for 14 years. Please bear with me only as long as it takes for me to take leave of my other mothers and to gain the agreement of Sita. Try to ensure that Bharat protects the kingdom and serves his aged father, for this is the eternal morality." Unable to speak due to grief, Dashrath wept aloud. Rama bowed low at the feet of his royal father, and also before the hard-hearted Kaikeyi. He was moved by acute sorrow, but he kept it within himself, showing no external sign. Joining his palms and circumambulating his father and stepmother, Rama departed. He then made his way towards Kaushalya's room. Lakshmana, hearing from Rama of the turn of events, followed close behind, his eyes brimming with tears. Reaching the room where the installation was to be performed, Rama respectfully went around the royal seat without casting his eyes upon it. Despite his renouncing the rulership of the world, no change of mood could be perceived in Rama, any more than in a perfect yogi who has completely transcended all dualities. Forbidding the use of the royal umbrella, which was offered him as a left, as well as the pair of beautiful royal whisks, Rama sent away his ministers, his chariot, and the citizens. The news of Rama's impending exile had spread quickly, and the people were shocked and dismayed. By mastery over his mind and senses, Rama controlled his own agony upon seeing the people's sadness. He exhibited his normal peaceful demeanor and approached Kaushalya's apartments. He was followed by Lakshmana, who, seeing his brother exposed, was strenuously controlling his own emotions. Rama smiled softly. He was as dear to his relatives as their own lives, and he did not wish to display any feelings which would cause them pain. As he entered Kaushalya's quarters, a loud and pathetic cry came from the ladies. "Alas, here is that Rama who has served all of us exactly as he did his own mother. Today he will leave for the forest. How could the foolish king exile the harmless Rama and thus bring ruin to the world?" Hearing from a distance the piteous wail, Dashrath shrank with shame and hid his head beneath the silken sheets on his couch. Rama went towards Kaushalya's room. He carefully maintained his composure, although he felt agonized at seeing the suffering of his relatives. As he approached the outer entrance of Kaushalya's apartment, he saw many doorkeepers seated and standing there. They quickly flocked around Rama, uttering blessings on the young prince. At the middle entrance, Rama was greeted by elderly Brahmins who were constantly reciting Vedic hymns. Bowing low before them, Rama entered and came to the inner door, where he was led into Kaushalya's chamber by her personal maidservants. Here ends the 7th chapter. Wishing you all a very happy Ram Navami. and see you soon. Hari Bol!